statement of fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
Damn good coffee and hot.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with a Dog. You make me laugh.
Oh, go ahead, laugh. Go ahead. I'll wait. Let me know when you're done laughing. Oh. All right, I get it. I get reminders at 9 o'clock every day. My calendar wants to send me reminders. Good morning, folks. Is it a good morning? It's Monday, November 6th, 2023. Is it a good morning? I hope it's a good morning for you. I can complain. I won't, but I could. Crazy weekend. You probably remember when we last met on Friday. I was preparing for a road rage incident going to LaGuardia Airport. Man, what a clusterfuck New York City is. Don't ever go there. Or if you can avoid it, fly into other airports, not LaGuardia or Kennedy, one of the, and not Newark. Oh, never Newark. Please, never Newark. But if you could get on Long Island or maybe Westchester, somewhere, it's not so crazy. Here's the thing. I picked up my brother-in-law, who is 59 years old, which is significantly younger than me. And he couldn't keep up with me. He was waiting for me, and I parked in the short-term parking, because I didn't want to deal with all the crazy taxis trying to pick people up. And so I went and grabbed him and, come on, let's go. And I took like 10 steps and turned around, and he's 100 feet behind me. Just couldn't keep up. So, but then we got him in the car, and he's from New York. I should say that. Got him in the car, and the minute we got on the road, oh my God, people drive crazy here. Yeah, they do. And he's saying, I thought you weren't supposed to go across a solid white line. That guy just did it twice. Like, really? It's gonna Rain Man on me? First of all, this is New York. There are no rules here. The rule is if you have your blinker on, anything is okay. If you have your directional on, you can do anything you want. That's the rule in New York as far as traffic goes. But you know that. But he's a grumpy old bastard. He's 59. He's a grumpy old bastard. He makes me feel like a non-grumpy old bastard. And everybody knows what a grumpy old bastard I am. That's how much of a grumpy old bastard he is. So Saturday was no fun, but luckily I got my wife to take him out. Well, I got some work done. Get him out. But then yesterday was the wake for my father-in-law. And I've been to a lot of wakes, probably more than most people, because I've had a lot of death. Death follows me. It surrounds me. You see it back there? Death. It's looking at me. I've had a lot of it. And so wakes are old hat to me. But that was one of the craziest wakes I've ever been to. First of all, nobody there liked me. Nobody there likes me at all. They hate me. My wife's family they don't like each other. I should say that. So it's not like there's something special about me, but just knowing that nobody really wants you there makes things feel weird to begin with. So I'm people watching, and there's not a lot of people there. And I'm thinking, one thought I have is there's going to be less people, and there would probably I'm not exaggerating here. Probably no more than 15 to 20 people all day. Uh, and I'm thinking it's going to be less than that whenever I go. It'll probably be just my wife, and maybe she won't even show up. Those are the thoughts that are going through my head because I know, I just know. Anyway, it was a very weird thing. Now, Ray, my father-in-law, was a Knights of Columbus guy. He was I don't know, the grand poobah of the Knights of Columbus at one point, but now he's just a former knight. But the Knights feel like they have to do something. And they did something all day long. They were coming in with their sword, and these guys were inept. They don't rehearse this stuff. Nobody knows what's going on. And the dress code is they put on these coat of colors and arms and all that kind of stuff and swords, but they're wearing sneakers and like socks that don't match. It's just a comedy show of paying tribute or memorial to somebody. But they felt like it was important for them to do that. So the nighttime session comes, and they want to do a 7-minute presentation. And it's clear that they have not rehearsed this stuff. Nobody knows what's going on. Guys, I'm like, go over there, go over there. You say this line, you say that line. It was just, and they pull out the swords, and they can't get the swords back in the thing. And they're doing all these ridiculous, staring at the crowd through their sword, whatever. It was just weird. And then they march off one by one, and they don't know how to march. It's like they never took marching lessons. Not even, they have no. It's like, what do you guys do there at the Knights of Columbus? You just drink beer and talk about marching, and then you're just gonna wing it? Anyway, they didn't know how to march, and they marched off. And then the whole room is sitting there in silence, like, what are we supposed to do? And I'm thinking in my mind, are we supposed to applaud here? What the fuck? It's just like everybody just still silent, facing the casket. And as I'm starting to feel this tension of this is a very awkward moment, nobody knows what to do here. I start to hear a little giggle from behind me. My wife's niece just starts to giggle, and then it becomes outright laughter. And then her sister, who was sitting over to the right from me, starts bursting out in laughter. And then before you know it, the whole room is laughing their ass off. And these guys who just did this 7-minute thing that they felt compelled to do are still standing out in the hall there, and they can hear everybody laughing at them. Just a very weird experience. Anyway, got through it, and today is the funeral. We have a good show today for you. A pre-funeral show for me. Jerry Hodges, who is a comedian from Nova Scotia, Halifax, Nova Scotia. Like, what the fuck? You're telling jokes about caribou and, I don't know, hockey pucks up there? What? I'm sorry. I don't mean to. I know. I'm bad. I'm off to a bad start. I'm denigrating an entire country just to start off with. Anyway, he will be here. And then in the second hour, Ron Kane is making a bid. I don't know. We have to check the record books for the fastest return of any comedian. He'll be here in an hour or two. Right now, we have to welcome in a picture of Willie. And good morning, folks.
Mine dog coffee. I don't always drink coffee, but when I do, I get the shits. Mine dog coffee.
All right. Well, I'm glad you got the shits today. I have to start off with, ladies and gentlemen, I owe you an apology. Yesterday on this very fine network, there was denigration, there was blasphemy, there was desecration. The Lord God's name was taken in vain and in jest. Our Savior, the Lord Jesus Christ, was made fun of and was insinuated that he was kind of like a Hunter Biden guy, cracking whores. Even Mother Teresa was accused of having cocaine snorted off her titties. This is a very fine network. We cannot allow, and to top it off, Matthew Perry was dragged through the mud. The ghost of Matthew Perry was dragged through the mud. Now, this is the kind of behavior that we will not allow on this program, on this network at all. It is below our standards, and I apologize deeply if you were offended. And I ask you to give us another shot next week if you tune in. The subject will be how to rape an altar boy and get away with it, mostly for the clergy, but maybe we can make amends that way.
I know a lot about that, actually.
I figured.
What, raping altar boys or Matthew Perry?
How to rape altar boys and get away with it. I was the head altar boy at my church,
and it wasn't, altar boy is a whole different.
Yeah, it wasn't like an official title that we had or anything. It's just what everyone called me because I spent the most time on my knees. You know, that's
it's terrible. Yeah. I don't know if either one of you guys caught that show yesterday, but it was definitely offensive and below community standards. It was.
My wife made me watch it.
My wife and I tuned in for about 5 minutes, and then my wife was very upset about the things that Matthew Perry said from heaven. So yeah.
So did you guys have a good weekend other than the having to deal with the scars of your souls being blackened and sent to hell?
I had a productive weekend. I may have saved a life, which which is always a good thing. I may have saved
not really, not always a good thing. If it was Hitler's life, you would not say it was a good thing.
Yeah, but Hitler wouldn't be in my house using my stairs.
No, but you said saving a life is always a good thing, and I'm just saying that.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, I should say I probably saved a life in my house, which is always a good thing.
Okay.
Yeah, that way insurance doesn't go up and there's no investigation.
Well, now it could have been a home intruder and trying to kill you and your wife, and if you saved that life, that would not be a good thing. I'm just looking for every rule.
Well, I've gone through that. Actually, I ran through that scenario with my stepdaughter about whether or not it's good to kill an intruder into your home.
That's right.
And we came up with this a 50-50 shot, whether or not it's a good thing or a bad thing.
All right. Well, yeah. So I'm sorry. I just keep interrupting your story, but there are holes in your story, and you have to.
And now there are holes in my wall from my repairs. I haven't finished fixing the walls yet.
All right. What happened? What exactly happened that you had to save a life? Somebody ingested too much. Or they stole your 9 hits of sugar acid.
No, the people that how should I put it? The people that flipped our house before we purchased it took a shortcuts. And one of those shortcuts was handrails were not screwed into studs. They were screwed into sheetrock. And one of them...
So they just pull right out.
Yeah, one of them has decided that while I was carrying something down the stairs in my new bedroom slippers, which have not been adjusted, they haven't been calibrated to my feet yet, my new bedroom slippers. Yeah, because they keep hitting the steps at the bottom, so grab the rail to prevent serious acid on the stairs. The rail, it just pulled right out the wall. So
I have to say it does make sense that a forensic humorist would need to calibrate their slippers.
Yeah.
Well, when you have old slippers, they get used to your feet and you get used to walking a certain way. And so,
yes. And they don't slip and slide on your foot itself because your foot kind of has a form that it fits into the slipper. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So the new
I hear you cluck a big chicken.
Yeah, the new slippers have not been calibrated, and so when I walk up the stairs, they sag a little bit because they haven't, grasped, the form. They're just not on the same page as my toes and heel and sole.
Wow, right. This is compelling radio. Can I get you guys fight? Can you guys fight about something? Can you just hate on each other or something?
Oh, well, I don't know if this is hating. I got a one-upper story, I guess, if you want to call it. To me, it's not one-upping. I'm just trying to be relatable. But the first fall, the first fall that I took down the stairs after prison. I was in socks, and I was in my sponsor's house, and they had carpeted stairs, and I did not realize like how slick that was gonna make it or whatever. And
Wait, they
from
don't have
about maybe
carpeted stairs in prison? They don't have carpeted stairs in prison?
no, definitely not. They were concrete stairs.
Good.
There were a lot of
Good.
them. I lived on the fourth tier, so I
Good to know,
took a
'cause
lot of stairs every day.
I was
Huh?
considering I was considering going to prison, and I thought maybe but no carpeted stairs.
Yeah, no
No,
carpet
it's
on the
really
stairs.
bad. It's bad for the
yeah.
allergies. When you're gonna have a prison, you don't want carpeting because it's bad for the allergies, and you have your prisoners sneezing all over each other.
Oh, and I
So,
can
yeah.
only imagine how nasty, nasty, nasty carpeted stairs in prison would be, with fucking just hundreds of people just trouncing a fucking around like all day, up and down all day. I mean, like, honestly, like I remember one of the other things I remember about being in prison. Wife number 2, the first time she felt my thigh.
Wait a minute. Is this a prison wife or is this a regular wife?
So wife number 2 and I were together.
Don't answer the obvious question. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, just let me answer. Yeah, wife number 2 and I were together for pretty much like 8 years of my incarceration, through whether it was pen paling or when we
That's not
actually
what he
started
means by
dating.
prison wife. That's
Yeah,
not
no,
what
she
he
was a
means.
chick from the streets, bro. And then we got married.
Yeah,
we got married
but
like 2 months
That's
after
not
I got
what
out of
he
prison.
means by prison wife.
I know what he means. I'm clarifying that that's most definitely not what we're talking about.
Okay,
I was
that
very
a simple
careful.
yes or no question.
Listen, if there's anything I learned in prison, it's that there's often a lot more answers than yes or no.
Okay.
So there was a prison wife. This story is not about the prison wife. This is about a different number 2 wife.
No, I mean, I guess technically no, I never had a prison wife. Although
Girlfriend.
I did get really concerned when I first went in, because like you gotta remember, like I hadn't been to prison before. It was my first time going to prison, and like my first few weeks in there, I didn't run into anybody that I really knew. Like I knew some dudes in county jail, but when I got to prison, I didn't run into somebody I knew right away. And so the day I got put in an actual cell instead of being just in the admissions and orientation section, they put me and this real fucking old dude together. We both came out of the A&O section together, and neither one of us had any idea how to do time in prison. Neither one of us had ever been to prison before. So like there's 2 guys sitting in the cell that when the door opens, neither one of us know what the fuck's going on, which is just not good. You know what I mean? And you just start following the herds, when fucking your door opens and people start moving around, you follow them until you see a guard and you be like, what the fuck's going on? What am I supposed to be doing? And they're like, what do you mean? And be like, well, this is where I live. My door's just popped. And then they'll tell you what's up. Like, we didn't even know to listen for announcements and shit. Like, you figure that shit out quickly. But there was this dude that lived like 3 cells away from us that just like came up and just started offering stuff. Just started offering a whole bunch of, and like one of the first things they teach you in A&O is don't be taking free shit from people, because ain't nothing in prison for free. You know what I mean? And so like now I'm in this like weird ass situation because both me and this dude don't have anything in our house. So we need the niceties of the block to get us some essentials, because there's really some kind of daily essentials that you really kind of need to have, like a bowl and a spoon and shit like that. Because how you gonna eat a fucking soup if you ain't got a fucking bowl or a fucking spoon to eat the shit with? All sorts of like little tiny problems.
You just fucked my brain up completely. You can't wait if you don't even have a bowl. Where does the soup even come from? It's just sitting in the air. I'm just sorry, I can't. Don't answer that, please. Don't answer that, because I have a feeling it's like a 4-year college course.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'll shut up now.
Well, we have our guest is here. and I actually have to run a commercial, and the commercial's kind of long. I'll just run the commercial. So, and then we'll get to meet Jerry Hodges. But I have to do this commercial. Pardon me while I do this commercial. I'm going to do a commercial.
Welcome to a better way to buy wine. NakedWines.com is a customer-funded wine business. We don't just sell wines, we make them happen. Since launching in the UK in 2008, Angels
I'd just
have
like to
helped
say this
us
is the gayest
invest
commercial
in
ever.
over 159 independent winemakers in 14 different countries. Turns out, it's better business for everyone. Our winemakers get to sell all of their wines and make a living. We make the same margins as everyone else and have a lot of fun in the process. As a wine drinker, for the $40 a month you probably would have spent on wine anyway, you get wholesale prices. You can be sure that all of our wines have been lovingly made by a talented winemaker and stripped of all the costs that add nothing to the flavor or quality of the juice in the bottle. Support independent winemakers. Get better wine in return. With the support of 300,000 wine drinkers, we fund talented, independent winemakers up front. This way, they get to spend all of their attention on making you the best wine possible. World-class wine direct from talented, independent winemakers. A better deal, up to 60% off market prices. A better way to discover tasty new favorites with over 2 million reviews from wine drinkers just like you.
God, it's a long gay commercial.
Become an angel today and get started. Visit minddogtv.com and click the banner on the homepage.
Yeah, click that banner, baby. Click it. Go ahead, click it. Suck down that wine and click it.
Bro, that is the best.
Well,
That I could die happy right fucking now, dude. You have no idea.
I'm glad you're pleased. GD doesn't look so, he looks a little confused, first of all. My instinct, I wanted to go like S&M gay dudes for that whole thing, but I did not want my internet history to reflect me searching for
Right.
gay.
It would start changing immediately. I'm sure. Like if you'd gained that up even more, it would immediately change your algorithm. I'm pretty sure. It's crazy. It's over the top ridiculous, which is why I thought it was great.
Yeah, in Vato, where I get a lot of the B-roll stuff and stock footage, there is a whole series of twinks getting together in their kitchen and like they're buds, but the one is kind of like coming on to the other one, and then and then he's making moves on them. And there's this whole series. I was going to use that, but I was like, no. First of all, they're drinking coffee, not wine, and that just confuses the fuck out of the brand here. But
right.
That's what the voiceover sounds like. I don't know if
no, you're right. No, you dude, in my opinion, you hit that so on the head, bro. Like that's one of the best videos. Like I was dying laughing the whole fucking time.
I don't know if it's gonna move product, and that's the whole point. I think the other.
I mean, I hope so. Because it's attention getting. You know what I mean? Because it is
3 minutes long. It's 3 minutes long. I mean,
wow. Yeah, that's.
All right, and let's bring our guest in. Now, if he would probably scared him away, he'd probably think, "What kind of gay morning show did I
Right,
get
right.
myself involved in?"
Actually, Jerry wants to do the next voiceover.
We have to sing happy birthday to him, by the way. It's his birthday today. Jerry Hodges is a veteran comedic talent that has performed all over Canada. I don't even know where that is. Is there? You guys know where Canada is? Have you heard of it? Uh,
Um,
he
I
started his comedy
think
career in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Halifax, Nova Scotia. I don't know. These are
isn't that a
different.
tropical island?
I don't know. It's like probably on a different planet or something. I don't
Well,
know.
let's break it down. Nova means new or star, right? Nova is a new, and
Oh, so it was a
Scotia,
star. So he's performed on a star.
he's a
I don't.
Scottish star,
Okay.
right?
And with the Comedy Dogs, which I like the Comedy Dogs because one of my first bands was the Dogs. Yeah, go figure. DAWGS Comedy Dogs. Though through fellow veteran comic Paul Ash, Jerry has been active since 2006. Let's welcome him in. Jerry Hodges, welcome to Coffee with the Dog.
Thanks.
I hope.
Just a quick question: is anyone still turned on from that commercial?
To be honest,
Nice.
I may never have another erection ever again.
Yeah, speak for yourself, man. The only concern I have is those two guys petting that woman. I don't know whether that was a branding thing or the look of a start of a missing persons report. Not sure.
Well, it's how much fun they have making the wine. See, those are supposed to be the guys who say and have so much fun doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, I'm celebrating a birthday today. I'm 40 years old. Yay!
Happy
Well,
birthday.
happy milestone birthday. Happy birthday, man. That's fucking amazing.
Hey,
Now-
you know what they say? I don't even look 40 because black don't crack.
Yeah,
No.
but our bones are white, and when you get to my age, those white bones will be breaking and cracking.
Well, you know what they say? Black don't crack without a police baton.
Hey,
And the tasers, that's our Botox. That's how we get our Botox.
Tighten up those muscles.
So where is this place? Canada, Canada. This foreign land you're from, Canada.
It's a far, far, far land away where they have free health care and good weed.
Oh, that sounds. And he's drinking Mind Dog coffee. You see that? He just drank a little Mind Dog coffee.
Actually, yeah, kind of a fan. Yeah,
Wow.
I'm kind of a fanboy. I like video games. I like cartoons, and big fan of Cuphead.
is that Is that a snorkel?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh my gosh. I can't
Yeah.
believe I even know that. I only know that in view. I don't think I've ever seen the show. Like I wasn't allowed to watch that when I was growing up. Although it was on like the tail end of like my childhood, the snorkels.
The Snork. You're thinking of the Snorks? Were supposed to be a ripoff of the Smurfs.
Right, yeah. They're like underwater Smurfs, pretty much.
Yeah, and the Smurfs were a ripoff of the KKK. Anyway.
Wait, what is this?
Oh my god! Now that you mentioned that, it does make sense.
Yeah, the Papa Smurf was cartoon's first Grand Dragon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe I could get into them because of GD's presence here, I can't get into the KKK. They've kind of.
So you want to get into the Smurfs?
They've blacklisted me.
Do they still use that term? Whoa, do they actually say black?
Depends on who's listening.
Yeah.
Oh man, here's something that I don't understand though. Anyone here a sports fan at all?
Yeah,
those two.
Okay. So the Commanders, the Washington Commanders. Boo! I'm a Cowboys fan, by the way. We lost last.
Wait, Cowboys is an ethnic slur. We have to change that name. But go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Anyway, where was I? So the Washington Commanders are getting sued again. This time by a native group who are telling them to change the name back to Redskins.
Right.
And the Cleveland Indians are now the Cleveland Guardians in baseball because apparently those are slurs for native people. This is the first time something like this has happened, right? There's a basketball team, they were the Washington Bullets.
Right.
Yeah, and they changed their name because bullets are negative and violent, so now they're known as the Washington Wizards.
Right.
Do you really think that's any smarter to name a pro basketball team full of black men and name them after the leader of the KKK? Yeah, come to the field. Come to the field for Washington, white nationalists.
Yeah.
Well, you know what kind of shitstorm they'd had if they'd called themselves the Washington Panthers. Well, though they're black. Yes.
Yeah. No, actually, why don't we name that hockey team down south the Florida Black Panthers?
Wow.
I know. I know a community of full-size people in Estherville, Iowa, that still go by the midget. So I mean, that's true.
We got to get Clinton Shorter on the program to talk about that.
Yeah, man. I feel like the more little people we talk to, the more steam this thing is gonna get.
Have y'all ever seen a tribute band called Baby Kiss? I think it's called Mini Kiss. They're I don't know if they're dwarfs or midgets or little. I don't know, but they're a Kiss tribute band, and they're all little
short.
people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I think the best thing to do is call them Fun Size Kiss.
Fun Size. Yeah. Matter of fact, Brad Williams, I think that's what he called his special was Fun Size. I'm pretty sure.
Wow, pretty cool. But if I'm not mistaken, and people in the chat room can fact check me on this or look it up and get some clarity around it. I think there was a mass shooting in the Bullets locker room right before they changed their name, and that was one of the things that they made them change from the Bullets to.
Actually, it was right after, but that was basically a shit show itself.
Actually, at their facility.
Yeah, it was in the locker room.
Jeez.
It started out on a plane. It started. I forget who. I think it was Gilbert Arenas, whoever it was making what $100 million. Lost a card game for what $2,000.
Yeah.
And he's like, I ain't giving you that money. And then him and one of the other players on the team, they were in the locker room, and who was it? Whoever it was brought in some guns, like pick two, kind of like they were the Three Stooges.
Wow.
Yeah,
what year was that?
Late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, late 90s. Okay, yeah, sure. All right. Yeah, because I know they were the Wizards when Jordan played with them already. So
yeah, he owned them. I don't know what's going on there. And
are you guys millennials or Gen X? What are you?
I'm adopted by Gen X.
Adopted.
Right. Yeah, me too. So, yep. Yeah, we're in that weird area that's like right between the gap, but like, yeah, because I'm 42, so we're like right here in age. So like we're in that weird area that like we don't really have a millennial mindset because we still grew up most of our lives without the fucking internet and without all this other like, and our parents were still fucking beating the fuck out of us and nobody gave a shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're the last generation of people that were like left to their own fucking devices, like almost fully. Like,
so you guys are Generation Taint. You're like right between.
We should make our own like 5-year fucking generation and be like, fuck all you bitches.
All right,
we got our own shit.
That's a whole other topic because I do think this splitting it up into 20-year groups it doesn't work. Because GD and I are both technically boomers, but we're not the same as the hippie.
Yeah, generation. I wouldn't say either one of you have like a boomer mindset.
No, I don't even know what a boomer mindset is because all that shit is.
Read The Greatest Generation and you'll know what a boomer's mindset is by Tom Brokaw. You read that book, that is the boomer mindset, 100%.
Speaking of books, Jerry, I have a question about your book.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, first of all, your book, now I can't remember, it's say the name of your book. I know it ends with the word greenhorn, and I want to know why greenhorn. So name your book.
It's a term for newbie.
I know what it means. I mean, I know what a greenhorn is. I want to know why you use the greenhorn because you're Canadian. That's a Texas word. I mean, I know you're a Cowboy fan.
Yeah, big Cowboy fan from Aikman and Emmett Smith. I spent Aikman, Emmett Smith, Michael Irvin. Those are my boys. But I grew up on the east coast of Canada, Nova Scotia, and watch a lot of American TV. So that's probably the reason that you don't hear the the boot, all that accent. Because
I like a boot. That's my favorite Canadian word is a boot.
A boot.
Yeah.
A boot there with the 2-4 and the Chesterfield there, eh?
Yeah.
But yeah, I grew up there, watched a lot of American TV. I was actually in Ithaca, New York, a couple months back, and I check into my room and they're like, "Hey, where are you from?" It's like, "I'm from Canada," and they're like, "Wow!" Like the expression on their face, "Wow!" Like it's so exotic.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't think it's the fact that you're Canada that it makes you exotic. It's the fact that you are a melanin Canadian that made them wow.
I think it was the fact that either like I'm like either well spoken, or it's like they don't get a lot of black people in their area, or because they thought that I'm related to Drake somehow. Not sure. But yeah, because it was during slavery. Nova Scotia was actually one of the destinations for the Underground Railroad.
Very
So
cool.
as soon as the freed slaves heard that slavery was abolished, they're like, "Nah, we staying up here. We staying up here." Hey,
I would
yeah,
be
I know
like,
it's colder.
you know
I know
what,
it's colder
Nova Scotia. No,
Yeah,
I'll stay slave. I'll stay a slave rather than go up there. It's cold up there, right?
it may be cold, but the beer's better and the bathrooms are much cleaner.
That's
Well, I just like the fact that you have a Molson's flag behind you. No, the
so, coming back to the book. The book is called "Make 'Em Laugh, Greenhorn," and it's it's for people who want to get into comedy, right? Do I have that correct?
Yeah, pretty much. I wrote it for 4 people. 3 of them I'm related to.
Oh no, I think you've written it for every American who basically doesn't have or even if they have a real job, if they have a job they're not happy in, they want to get into stand-up comedy. Every American who's not happy with the job they currently hold wants to be a comedian.
That's the question. That's my question. See, the fact that you are Canadian comedy and the way it's set up, and American comedy and the way it's set up, it's not exactly the same. It's not a apples to apples comparison.
Exactly.
And so, does your book convert to U.S. comedy, or is there, or does it just do basically Canadian comedy?
Before you answer that question, you have to explain the difference for people like me who don't know, and I'm sure there's plenty of people in the audience who don't know the difference between Canadian.
Oh, I'd love to hear
American.
the difference.
Okay. Yeah, the difference between American and American Canadian comedy. With American comedy, I feel it's much more, with Canadian comedy, it has its own dry wit, where American comedy is a lot funnier.
But I was referring to things like what you call a headliner, what we call a headliner, host, feature, stuff like that. Yep. Those terms are not interchangeable here in the U.S. and in Canada.
Really?
It does fly. It does fly. Headliner, MC, whatever it is. But yeah, with Canadian comedy, honestly, it's a lot more conservative. With our comedy, it's a lot more. It's more slow paced, because you guys have Comedy Central. We have what's called the Comedy Network, and 8 hours a day we have a show called Corner Gas. Yeah, basically that show takes in the middle of BF nowhere. But yeah, we have a concept up here with radio, TV. It's called Beaver Hours. So with the rule of Beaver Hours, I think it's a third or a quarter of content every day has to be Canadian.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
that's why not a lot of people listen to the radio or satellite radio, because 8 hours a day it's Justin Bieber.
Oh my goodness.
Or Celine Dion.
Oh my goodness.
Or Nickelback.
You know what though? If I'm being honest about it, Canadian music. I mean, I'm going to get in trouble because you just included Nickelback in there. But Canadian musicians, most of the best music that we think of from my generation were really Canadians. But people thought they were Americans. I'm talking about Neil Young, Rick James. I could go on and on with
Rush.
The band and Rush, and you can go down the line.
Rush is one of my favorites.
Or actually, I was at this concert last night. This group right here, I Mother Earth.
Oh yeah.
They're like funk metal, rock, along those lines. But yeah, that's a group. That's a group I grew up with. You know how other kids were listening. Like I'm different than my family. Well, my family members and friends who were listening to Notorious B.I.G. I was more listening to Nirvana.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm the white sheep in my family.
The white sheep. Yeah.
Yes, and I still like Rush, but at one point I probably knew from their first album up through Hemispheres, I think, or YZ, whatever album YZZ was on. I knew every Alex Lifeson lick from the first album up through that, and so yeah, I was a fan.
And then you became the studio musician for things like the Monster Mash, and your career just
took off. Yes, it took off
off.
right after. It took off from there.
Took
Yes.
down. Yeah.
No,
It's interesting.
I gotta say, I used to have a radio show back in high school. You know, because I was a loser with no friends. So there's this other term called pirate radio, right? You know what it is, broadcasting without a license. But when I was a kid, when I was little, I was thinking to myself, wow, pirate radio, pirates singing today's chart-topping hits. I would be amazed. I would be amazed if I heard this on the radio. Arr, yes, I be around the track. I ain't gonna happen like that because I ain't no holler back girl. I ain't no holler back girl. Yes, I be around the track, but it ain't gonna happen like that because I ain't no holler back girl. I ain't no holler back girl.
Wow.
There's got to be a video in there somewhere, a parody,
or at least an animation of that.
Yeah,
That'd be fucking beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Jerry, does your mother have any grandkids yet?
My mother's been a grandmother since she was in her mid-30s.
Okay, so have you given her any grandkids yet?
No.
Okay.
Because she would explode.
She would have exploded.
Oh, okay. Let me put this the right way. I'm 40 today. No kids. No. I'm no kids. No. Never been married. But I heard this fact though. The number one cause among fights amongst men or over women.
That's true.
I'm counting on the outside world here, William. Okay.
Look, he didn't even smile.
Okay. Number one cause of fist fights amongst men are over a woman. Number two is over a parking spot. That's something you want to put on your that's something you want to put on your Tinder profile, isn't it? 40 years old, single, take public transportation. I may get bed bugs from the bus, but hey, I keep most of my teeth.
Yeah.
Oh, and here's one for you. I did a little bit of research because I come somewhat from a dysfunctional black family because my dad, God rest his soul, my dad was 1 out of 4. My mom is 1 out of 13.
Damn.
Hand to God. But yeah, large family, many cousins. My mom wants me to find a nice black girl that who can't give birth to a child for me without having an extra ear on their neck. Here's my point though. Yeah, here's what I'm getting at here. I found out 3 reasons for a dysfunctional black family. Number 1, poverty, of course, living in poor neighborhoods. Number 2 is addiction, drugs or alcohol, and the 3rd reason is someone brought home a white girl.
Well, see, I come from a very dysfunctional family for a whole lot of other reasons. My father was one of 17. So I hate to one up you, but one of 17.
Actually, I think you just 4-upped him. Although you can find,
I 4-upped them.
No.
Yeah. So, but it's interesting that you say this because my stepdaughter has a new boyfriend, and she called her mom to let us know that he's black, and she it's like we don't care. You have your own life. She said, "No, I just wanted to let you know so that the first time you meet him, your face isn't like." And you know what? To be honest with you, it probably would be. I mean, as much as I try to deal with, evolving and kind of being less judgmental about stuff. The first time I saw him, I probably would be surprised, and that would come off as like, "Whoa, what do you mean by that look?"
that actually happens somewhat for me because I looked up my family. I looked up my genealogy. Turns out I'm a white sounding black guy. Took me the longest time to figure that out. Because every job I've ever had, every day job I ever had, it was always over the phone, not Zoom, but over the phone. It's like, hey, I went to college, and It's like, let's bring you in for an interview. The second I go in that interview, the manager there, usually a white person, is kind of looking at me as like, he didn't sound black on the phone.
He sounds black. What do you mean sounds black?
And I'm saying to myself inside my head, ha ha, catfish, bitch.
Yeah.
But also, being a white-sounding black guy is hard when it comes to dating because women can't tell whether I'm the right amount of danger or the wrong amount of safety for them. If being black or thug or down or ghetto was measured on a scale, I'd fall somewhere between Taylor Swift and a Beaver Scout.
Wow.
Yeah, but higher than Kanye West.
Let me ask you this now. Canada is big on hockey. Not a lot of black players in the NHL. Are there any? I don't know if there are any. But
of course, yeah, there are some black players. The first black player in hockey was Jesus. Jesus created hockey because he didn't want the apostles to feel left out. Yeah, it just said, okay, doing another miracle, froze the ice and said, Peter, you're the other goalie.
Oh, we had enough blasphemy on this program yesterday. We're trying to. We need to take a few days off to kind of replenish our blasphemy tolerance.
Oh,
I still don't know what the blasphemy was yet. I have to look for the blasphemy now.
Oh, you want to hear me continue with my Jesus?
I think
you didn't hear the stuff about Jesus doing coke and orgies and
I think he only said that Jesus smoked weed. That he rolled really big blunts is what Matthew Perry said. That Jesus had rolled the big fatty.
That's still kind of a blasphemy, but I think I think it got
the coke off Mother Teresa's tits. That was surprising, really. I mean, but when realizing that Mother Teresa was only 26, you realize it's not that bad.
Why age matters when you're snorting coke off tits?
Yeah, you don't want to get it caught in the wrinkles. That's a waste of coke.
No, I understand. I understand that, but I mean sin-wise and judgment-wise.
Oh, well, it's a party up there. I don't think they're worried about sinning. Sin is in heaven, I think.
Anyway, let's bring it back to Jerry now.
Sorry.
What I was talking about in hockey. Now you're a hockey fan. When you go to this, because when I was a kid, I played with Defunkified Versified Orchestra, and it was 28-6 black guys and me, and I stood out like a sore thumb or a white thumb or something like that.
Yeah.
When you go to hockey games, is that the case with you? I mean, basically.
Somewhat, yeah, but it's a little bit different. It's a bit different because I live in Toronto now, the biggest city in Canada. But I did live in Ottawa, which is the Washington D.C. version of up here. So I live there. They do have a team.
Yeah.
And they're appropriately called the Senators, right? Big government town, big government city. But yeah, they have a team. A few years ago, they went for a big run at the Cup, and my favorite team ever since I was a kid is the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Wow!
I did mention I grew up on the East Coast, and when you think of hockey in Nova Scotia, first person that people think of up here, Wayne Gretzky. But then I correct them and say Sidney Crosby. I grew up in the same town where he grew up.
Okay, I always thought you would have said Mario Lemieux being a
Penguin. That's my boy. That's my favorite player.
Yeah,
I do quote Wayne Gretzky all the time, though, constantly.
You think you quote him, but I think you misquote him. It's kind of like that Einstein thing where people say the definition of insanity that Einstein never said. I think you're quoting Gretzky. You're misquoting Gretzky. I don't think he ever said that.
No, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. That's what
I think that was Reggie Miller who said that.
No, that was Jordan, wasn't it?
Well, Reggie Miller lived it. Reggie Miller.
I mean, according to Google,
Oswald, wasn't it?
According to Google, it's attributed to Wayne Gretzky.
Did you say Oswald?
I said Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah, Lee Harvey Oswald. Yes, yes. He was the first one to say it. Yes.
Yeah.
Now we have a 60th anniversary.
Some guy from the Grassy Knoll actually said it, but Harvey Oswald took credit for it.
Right. We have that anniversary coming up, and I do have a song called Lee Harvey that because I think we could use a man like Lee Harvey.
We could have
Look at that look.
a few years ago. But where was I getting at? Okay, so I lived.
Hockey and the Penguins. You were getting at, I think.
I want to finish the story here. So
right.
I did mention I'm a Penguins fan, right?
Right.
So Ottawa played Pittsburgh in the conference finals, the round before the Stanley Cup finals, right? That series went to a full 7 games. I went to game 7 at a local bar, and I realized I'm completely different from everybody because I was the only one there in a Penguins jersey. And Pittsburgh ended up winning that game in double overtime.
That cannot have been good for you.
Oh, well, somebody asked me, hey, dude, were you beat up that night? I said, of course not, because that would have been a hate crime.
because penguins are an endangered species.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, that's weird. They named
that's solid.
What was that?
Canadians who like American hockey teams. It's like, you want to change me, you got to change the Detroit fans, the Boston fans. Those guys are nasty.
Yeah, well, you know what? The only thing that city loyalty actually seems to be the rule in is baseball, because football in America, people here are Cowboy fans or 49ers fans.
From all over,
Yeah, people, they don't stick to their city as much. I don't know. Maybe it's just my perception on that. But naming teams.
Some of y'all forget that there's a lot of cities that don't have teams. You know, like there's areas that don't have a pro team for hundreds of miles.
I got it. But here we have 2 teams, and still people become fans of the Steelers or the 49ers or the Cowboys.
Right.
It's
That's true.
And we have teams, so. But the naming thing,
even when they're present, sure.
The naming thing, like Miami Dolphins makes sense. New York Giants makes no sense, but Pittsburgh Penguins, like, there probably has never been a penguin in Pittsburgh.
They had an igloo for the longest time. They just went with it.
The Pittsburgh Big Birds would probably be a good, Anyway, so it's just so weird because I've been to hockey games here in the States plenty. And you never see a black guy in a stadium or the arena ever. I mean, it's just like it's as white as you can possibly get. It's so white that I feel black.
But but again, the main attraction of the game is the puck,
right? Which
is which even surrounded with all that white in the playing area, it's the puck that is the center,
and hitting it with a stick.
Yes, which brings us So it's basically it's sport imitating life.
It always comes back to race with you.
Well, I think all this hockey talk, there's one thing I still have to say. If men and women are equal, how come there's no checking in women's hockey? That's a question I have.
Because
I didn't even know
the checks are alimony.
Yeah, there's like in women's hockey, you can't check. There's no checking in women's hockey, but they're equal. Don't forget that.
Wow. How about they're just smarter? They have. I bet you they have.
Yeah, I mean, possibly. I think it could be another one of the reasons that women live longer than men. For sure, is that there's no checking.
Well, they have that in the kids' leagues here, and that bothers me because I went to one game recently, and I was complaining about that. My grandson's game.
Yeah, like they let little kids do the fighting. Even
no, not here.
It was a long time ago that I've been to a game, though. To be fair.
No contact here, and I'm like, that's a bad because you're in this youth league and there's no contact, and as soon as you get into like high school or college, you're gonna find out there's big time contact.
Yeah, there's big contact, and if you're not acclimated to that contact, it's a whole different sport. Different sport if you're not acclimated to that contact.
Right.
Yeah, the reason that women get paid less is because they live longer.
Right.
I never even thought of that. I never even thought of that.
Yeah.
We do get paid the same rate, but we're gonna drop first, and then you can stretch everything out.
They get all their money on the back end. It's like a contract in sports.
Yeah.
So, you are currently where in Ottawa or Nova Scotia? Where are you located now?
I'm living in Toronto,
Toronto.
which is how do I put this the right way? The NHL's Factory of Sadness.
Wow.
But well, they call Cleveland Brown Stadium the Factory of Sadness, but the reason I say Toronto is because the Leafs have the longest Stanley Cup drought. They have not won the Cup or even made the Stanley Cup Finals since 1967.
Wow, I remember when the Rangers had that. It was
94.
Yeah, 1994 was when they won, but before that, it was like the 40s. It's 1944, I think, or something like that.
1940.
1940, right?
They have out of the original. There's original 6 teams. There's Montreal, Toronto, the Rangers, Chicago, Detroit, and Boston. Those are the original 6.
Right.
And the Rangers have the least amount of cups out of all of them.
Right.
The least amount.
Now, are these athletic cups or?
Well, I was going to say Willie's team didn't need that many cups.
That's right. Half as many.
There's teams that have had more cups or coming up to more cups, something like that, and they haven't been in the league for like 60 years. The Rangers have been around, I think, for coming up to a century now.
Right.
And they may have 4 cups altogether. Edmonton's been in the NHL since the 70s, 80s, and they got 5 cups. What does that say about the Rangers?
Right. And the Islanders, who used to be a minor league team called the Ducks here, had 4 in a row. So and they were a major rival of the Rangers.
It was Billy Smith was playing for them. Mike Bossy.
Right.
Yeah, his career was cut short. That was sad.
So this is the hockey morning show, ladies and gentlemen. Hockey recap. The least popular sport in North America. We just thought we'd cover that exclusively here.
In the U.S., I'll say, but up here, a lot of hockey fans, take that seriously. But that's just me. Anyway,
Jerry, your book is out for sale now, right?
Yes, it's on Amazon. I got a copy of it right here.
Why do you have the video for you still raising money to make your book?
Oh, you're on the stand now, cross-examined. Go ahead.
Still have you're talking about the YouTube, right?
Yeah, the YouTube.
Yeah, I should take that down now.
Unless you want to modify it for your second book or something, but because it says I'm help me write my book. I need money, and then the book is. So you're taking money on one end and on the other end. You're starting to look like a Nigerian prince, my man.
Oh,
I realized that you called me out. I gotta take the video down. But you know what? I'll take it down by the end of the day. I've got a lot to do on. Well,
if it makes you feel any better, we can edit this out. GD's. This is actually his last day on the program anyway, so we can edit that part out. And then you could keep that up there.
GD, it's another week. Another week is going to be day to day, man.
My wife says you fire me every day. My wife says that my job is my wife says that my job here is the only job in the country that is less safe than Speaker of the House.
Well, to be fair, I'm doing a bit that I did on the radio 40 years ago. I used to fire my producer every single day on the show, and I don't learn any new material. I'm still doing the same act
except for
if it works, it works.
Back then you were firing your producer, and this time you're trying to fire somebody who's not productive. So there's a twist.
Well, he wasn't. He definitely wasn't. But my threat to him was I used to yell at him, "Get in here from the control room. You better be dead for your sake." And that always got a big laugh. But you don't have to be dead. You could stay alive. Just be fired. Now, performing, you performed in the U.S., right? The Finger Lakes stuff was in New York, right? The Finger Lakes Festival.
Yep.
How does your comedy relate to? I mean, do you have to change your material? Because I've seen you talk about hockey and stuff and Canadian things in some of the videos, and I don't know that the U.S. audience would necessarily get it.
Yeah, because you got to be universal. I've been doing stand-up for the longest time. I think it was, I've been doing it for 16, 17 years, something like that. I've opened for, I think my biggest moment, I'm trying to think, probably be Doug Stanhope.
Wow.
opened for him. That was back, I think it was 2009, 2010, something like that. But met him, really nice guy. But I realized, well, not but he is a nice guy. I was always taught be universal, right?
Yeah.
Be universal when it comes to when it comes to doing comedy. No,
Right.
don't
So
let everything.
are you looking? Do you look for work in? Because I hate to say it, because it sounds like I'm bad mouthing Canada, and I really don't know enough about Canada to bad mouth. I've been there twice in my life. Been
Really?
over the border. Yeah, that's it. But the idea that a lot of to make it, it's always the United States is where people come. It's like for whatever reason, make it.
Yeah.
If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. So, are you looking to work more in the States? Like that's a long way to ask that simple.
I'm contemplating actually taking a trip for New Year's, either Vegas or Atlantic City in that area.
Not Austin. Everybody's going to Austin.
No, to Austin. Wait, I'm lost now.
Yeah, and you would be if you went to Austin. That's okay.
Yeah. Austin, Texas is like the mothership and all that. Basically,
mothership, the sunset, the
people are
sunset.
saying Austin is a new destination if you want to be a comedian, and that is bad news because everybody is going there, and then all the competition is there. I still think New York.
I mean, Shane Gillis is moving there too. He just announced
but most of the people in Austin are not comedians. They don't know how to tell jokes yet. So if you get there and you know how to tell a joke in Austin, you can actually be like head and shoulders above the rest of those yahoos out there.
Yeah, I'm thinking about taking a trip to Texas. I'm just more worried if they're going to hunt me for sport.
Depends on the city. Depends on the town you're in.
Yeah, Austin's a pretty good city.
Yeah,
and Texas is a very big state. It's like a country. My stepson is in Big Bend, and my brother-in-law who was here is living in Houston. And when my wife found out, oh, Eric's in Texas. Oh, he's right near. No, it's fucking 1,500 miles away or whatever.
Right? Yeah, Texas is huge.
Yeah, but definitely different ideas. So if you're talking about prejudice and bigotry and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, there's some parts of it.
Austin is probably the most accepting and
I'd say it's probably about the most liberal city you'll find in Texas.
You would think.
All right.
Now, Jerry, I have a question for you. See, because I was talking about the conversion rate between U.S. comedy and Canadian comedy, and one of the things you mentioned just now, you slipped up and you said, "I've been doing comedy for such a long time, 17 years." In the U.S., you can still be doing open mics after 17 years. 20 years of comedy in the United States is like, it's frowned upon. It's like it's almost nothing. So that's what I'm saying. There's an exchange rate between U.S. comedy and Canadian comedy.
That's interesting. Yeah, because I know.
Yeah, with the exchange rate here, I said 17 years. In the U.S., it comes to about 10. So
not bad. That's not bad. It's kind of like the euro. Yeah. Because I know people, it depends on, I know people who've been doing it 6 months or a year who are really making a splash. And I know people who are doing it for 20 years and still, got paid for the first time 3 months ago. So it's a whole different game. It's an individual thing. It's not necessarily, there's a set rule of how long it takes to get paid or how long it takes to make it and all that kind of stuff.
They think it is. They actually, if you talk to bookers and if you talk to people who write about comedy in the U.S., a lot of them think there are rules, and they write like there are actually rules. Like you work on your first 5-minute set for 6 months, and then you get a job as a host, and then if you're lucky, you get to be a opener, and they give you this scale, and if you jump ahead or if you violate that, you are persona non grata.
I mean, it's an easy way to get blackballed for real. I mean, honestly,
blue ball. You can even get blue ball.
If you
black and blue ball.
Yes.
What GD's talking about here, and this is some real ass shit. There is kind of an unspoken way, and almost all these books that you get, lay out that same kind of format that GD was talking about.
Yeah.
And when you realize that that's bullshit and that you don't need to jump through all them hoops or whatever, that there's other ways to go around it. If you approach comedy differently, you're going to be approaching it differently the whole fucking time, because once you get off that regular path, you're fucked, because the gatekeepers will not let you back on. Oh, you wanted to do your individuality thing? Well, guess what? Now you get to do it to the full. Good luck, buddy. Hope you're good at it.
Wow.
I mean, that's what it turns into. Am I wrong?
No, there was some bookers in who I at one point I was like, I used to be one of their darlings, and then I went astray.
Right.
And I tried to get back in. I didn't know, but first of all, I didn't know I went astray. I just knew they weren't returning my calls and weren't booking me.
Yeah.
And so after a little bit, a comedian named Craig Gass said to me, "Fuck them, just do your own thing." And so I just started doing my own thing. And then 2 years, I run into these guys, and they treat me like I'm still their friend. And I said, "Well, can I get some work?" And they look at me and they go like, "We are so happy that you have found work elsewhere."
Yep.
But yeah.
Is that your experience, Sherry, up there, the gatekeeper thing?
It's a little bit more. Well, out in Nova Scotia, it's a bit of a click thing, to be honest with that.
Yeah. Comedy is very clicky.
Yeah. I'm more, if you can make people laugh, let's say I own a comedy club. If you can, there's 3 things I'm looking for. One, a comic that can make people laugh, has good jokes, right? A comic that can write, and a comic that can bring people in. I'm not 100% condoning bringers, because a bringer can bring 50 people in willing to pay $10, $15. But if that bringer can't tell jokes, it's not worth it. It's also a concept of the quality. If they're a midway comic, somebody that can get hits in and out, sure, I would still book them. But sometimes it's about material. Everyone's like connections, right? Like I tell jokes. Like I'll give you one. So I noticed that a lot of franchises, like in media, TV, movies, are making characters more diverse, changing their race, changing their sexuality. I'm not against that. 2 things. 1, don't shove it down people's throats. And number 2, there are some you're going to run out of characters eventually that you can change. There are some characters in fiction that can never be changed. For an example, Tarzan. Okay, I don't want Tarzan has to be a white guy. Would you be comfortable seeing a person of color swinging on vines, living in the jungle, and talking like an ape? No, probably not.
No, it probably would not go in this day and age.
Okay, number 2, Shaggy from Scooby-Doo should have never been black in the first place. There's an animated series with, who is it, Velma, where she's black, Shaggy's black. Shaggy should never be black. I don't want to see a black guy dressed like a drug addict living in a van and eating dog food for over 50 years.
Well, with Tarzan, his nickname was the Great White Ape. So that's also, you'd have to.
The Great White Ape who happened to be black.
Yeah.
Here's another one that can't be changed. Batman cannot be black. Superman can, though. Batman cannot be black. Let's take this scenario. You're a cop, okay? You see 2 cars driving down the street, right? They're just speeding right past you. Who are you going to pull over? The Penguin who just robbed the Gotham City Bank, or a black man in a mask with a 10-year-old white child in a shotgun seat?
I see a Batmobile and I think
my friend, that's not the dynamic duo. That's a potential Amber Alert.
So the dynamic duo is not allowed to be that dynamic.
Well, if you're going to have Black Batman, you're also going to have to change Robin. I suggest we call him Robin, the androgynous boy wonder.
Well, he kind of always was.
Yeah, well, I think what he's doing is stopping the crime in Gotham City and sexually confusing the crime in Gotham City.
When I was a kid, the Green Hornet did a combined episode of Batman and the Green Hornet, and Kato was Bruce Lee.
Yes.
And Bruce Lee did not like the fact that you expect me to treat Robin as an equal or something like that. It's like, you got to be kidding me. And I think he probably beat up a little bit Burt Ward, who played.
Yeah. And besides, if Robin were black, they'd have to call him the Boo Wonder.
If this was back in the 1930s, they'd call him Boy Wonder.
Yeah.
Or you could use Robin Harris as Robin.
I was mentioning Superman. Superman, how on the other hand, can be black because of how he lived. Come on, he dated mostly white women.
Right.
He was raised without his biological father, and his arch nemesis is a white bald guy with lots of money.
Right.
Yeah. That's solid.
But
That's solid. I'd like to see the Hulk be a woman, but instead of it being her anger that changes her, it's just her period. You know what I mean?
She-Hulk.
He's
got a thing for big, strong women anyway. So
I do. You know what my wife said to me last night? This is a real thing my wife said to me last night. She said to me, everything except menopause is your fault.
Wow.
Do you think that was her menopause talking?
And she still calls it menopause. Yeah.
Well, now that's what I wanted when I talked about generational stuff before. There's an article today in Apple News that Gen X is not having sex. Now I know Willie. I mean, constantly it was anything that walks and talks, and or even things that don't talk, like animals and stuff. But they're claiming that Gen X is not having sex, and they have, of course, the answer to how to get them fucking again, but it's behind the paywall, so I have not read that. But what's your take on it? Has your generation stopped fucking, and why? Either one of you guys.
For me, it had to do with the speaking out and Me Too movement. Men just shut down.
Oh yeah.
We're just shut down. I'm February, for an example. Let's say I see a woman's, she loses her scarf, and I go to return it to her. What's the odds are? Odds are it's either A, she's going to thank me, or B, she's going to look at me and think, I have a boyfriend.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, you know the difference? Hey, William, you know the difference between your wife and my Tinder dates? When I go out with them, when you go out with them, they show up. It's just like the Toronto Blue Jays up here. I go to see the Blue Jays. You're not gonna hear this announcement, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight's game has been postponed because the Jays had something come up.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, no, I could see that would make a difference. I'm wondering if they addressed that in the article because I have not paid for it. But just the headline made me curious. Like, why would a whole generation stop fucking? But I think you're in on something there. This whole fucking, you gotta relearn the rules of how you can even talk to women.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right now, the slightest misunderstanding about a man, especially in this day and age, can destroy his life. Here's an example. I mean, I went to the liquor store 10 minutes before it closed, because I know how to invest in my future. I went to buy some whiskey, right? I got him some aged 12-year-old whiskey, and it was just me, the cashier, and the security guard letting me out, right? As soon as I paid for my whiskey, the cashier says to me in their loudest, clearest voice, "Good night, sir. Enjoy your 12-year-old."
Whoa.
What the fuck?
Whoa.
Just not some stuff you want somebody shouting behind you.
Yeah.
Keep this in mind. This was like 10 minutes before closing. If this was 2 hours earlier in prime time, you would see me on my face on Twitter, and it was a 40-year-old black man leaving liquor store with 12-year-old blonde.
Or that, or just running down the block being chased by a bunch of angry,
Yeah.
Very cool stuff.
Women get to be maternal. Men can't be paternal in this day and age.
Right. Yeah, and you know what? I think Bo Burnham has a great song about that, and I'm not going to do it, but he talks about I'm a feminist who wants a guy who likes to buy me stuff and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of like hypocritical. They want a big, strong guy who's also in touch with his feminine side. Like, what the fuck is that? You gotta be,
Yeah.
you gotta be androgynous, I guess, or
And
be,
you also can't have any like expectations for them. You
right.
know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they want all their boxes checked, but the minute you start putting expectations their way, they're like, "Oh wait, you know, like."
So you think millennials are millennials got to? I mean, if you're in your 20s or 30s, you're that's prime fucking time. You're not letting anything stop you, politically correct or not. You got to fuck. The urge, the physical urges overwhelm any kind of sensibility. I think when you get to 40, that's when you start to think about it a little bit. You think millennials are not fucking? That's the question on the table.
They're too busy touching their phones more than their penises.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, they're doing it in bold new ways. I think actually they're doing a lot more stuff.
Bold new ways.
Well, yeah, I think they're taking a lot of they're taking it public more. I think, you know, especially with like some of these toys and stuff like that you can conceal. Like am I the only one that knows about these things, or what?
Of course you are, but they are investing in non-toxic butt plugs, which is
okay. For instance, when I was in Fargo, now keep in mind I was in Fargo at the tail end of fucking winter. There was still snow on the fucking ground. There were scantily clad 20-somethings going all up and down Broadway because Fargo is a college town for North Dakota State. But I saw a group of girls, and 3 of them had lights coming from their mini skirts, which means that they had butt plugs in that have LED lights on them.
Wow.
Or
to paint a clearer picture of what's happening out there.
It was Fargo. Lightning bugs could be trying to get warm, and the lightning bugs are up there just trying to stay warm. I'm just saying there could be a positive reason, maybe something to do with nature that explains the lights.
No, bro. Like a rainbow light was like protruding from their mini skirts.
So, are you saying that lightning bugs can't be in other colors? Is that what, are you like a lightning bug?
I've never seen one other than like the yellowish lightning bug. No, I've never seen.
Are derailing this. This show is supposed to be all about Jerry Hodges and his comedy, and there you are just talking about mini skirts and bug lights.
I'm fine. I like letting this fly. Keep going.
Tell us how you're gonna spend your birthday. Now you're a single guy. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna go to a strip club, or are you gonna what does a single guy in Canada do on his birthday?
There's a lot of free birthday stuff I can get from different businesses. Whatever. It's like, hey, you get a free whatever on your birthday. Like I could just go out down the street and say it's my birthday, and they give me a cookie.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of my favorite things to do. Soak up all the free shit. Yeah, do that.
Wait a minute. Is there something that applies to escort services also? And don't pretend you don't use them, because you already admitted that you use escort services at 3 a.m. So I'm just want to know if there's a free version of this for your birthday.
Free tug job with every blow job. I don't know.
I was just thinking, hey, you get a free Copperfield without being charged. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't. As I said, the difference between the Jays and my Tinder dates, the Jays show up whenever you go to see them. So I haven't been a lot. I did date a woman in a wheelchair before. Yeah, it's new. That was new to me. I dated a woman in a wheelchair. Then she walked out on me. Hey,
a woman in a wheelchair walked out on you?
Yeah.
Or roll? Did she like get up and walk like she was so mad she was healed, or did she roll out?
She rolled her tires all over my heart.
Wow.
I mean, my heart. Yeah, you could still see the Goodyear logo on it.
Man.
Yeah.
Wow.
We actually our first date was really nice. We went for a nice, relaxing crawl on the beach. I worship the ground she rolled on.
Yeah. Yeah.
We once had a big fight to keep her from following me. I just took a bunch of thumbtacks and threw them on the kitchen floor.
Wow. Now we're gonna get. This is the first day. I don't think we've gotten much handicap hate mail, but I think we will get some today. Now,
Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Yeah, well, let me ask this question about that because I came up the other day that because I used the word handicap and somebody jumped all over me. That's not that's an offensive term now, not politically correct. Handicap, but are they? They're not changing every fucking sign that says handicapped only parking. So I mean,
right.
Well, because that costs money.
Right.
It doesn't cost money to yell at you and say, "I don't want to
Yeah,
be called
yeah.
handicapped."
And
to
that's
change
why
the
those people
signs.
can fuck off.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing where it's like, picture if the people who don't want to be called handicapped had to pay for the signs that said
Right.
handicap, then we be something totally different.
Yeah. Well, what qualifies?
I've recently made the decision that I'm no longer accepting people being offended on other people's behalf. If you want to tell me that what I said offended you for something that relates to fucking you, fucking fabulous. Otherwise, lick a fucking fart out of my ass.
Oh, why did you have to?
I find that
there?
offensive.
Right, exactly. But see what I'm saying? Like, we've gotten to the point. We've gotten to the point. The offense, the offense that they feign is now offensive to me. You see what I'm saying?
The rest of my Monday is going to be haunted by a stench of Willie's fart smell, imaginary fart smell in my fucking nose. It's going to take a full day to wash that out because you planted that fucking thought in my mind.
Speaking of farts,
oh my God, I'm so sorry, bro.
So Jerry, what's your favorite birthday cake other than free?
Wow, that was a really nice segue. Speaking of farts, Jerry. Oh wait, Jeannie, you were offended earlier. Here's the problem I have. See, this is my fuck box or fuck container, and I can't find a fuck to give. Anyway, no. Favorite kind of cake. The kind of cake that you eat off of Mary Magdalene's tits. No. I had to go back to the blasphemy jokes, didn't I?
Okay, so unleavened. So an unleavened cake.
I'll tell you that. Okay, ice cream. Let's just say. But that's my favorite kind of cake. I'm that person. I don't get offended by a lot. You're gonna have to go like on a level of 1 to 10. You're gonna have to go to like a 25 to offend me. I was actually bullied as a child. Not so much physically and mentally.
And that's your favorite cake?
My mom last week. No, actually, I got a lot of nicknames because my full name's Gerard, like Gerard Butler, the actor, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So first I was called Giraffe as a child. It was like, okay, that's something.
Did you have a long neck?
Yeah, that's.
Did you like grow into it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Like that, yeah. And then that Disney movie came out, and kids started calling me Jafar from Aladdin.
And this is your favorite cake?
Ice cream, yes.
Ice cream cake.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
But then, and here's the kicker, they got really creative in high school, and for the longest time, they called me Gerard the Retard.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's terrible, bro. I'm
sorry.
How
do the other retards feel about that?
I'm wondering myself.
I said, were they insulted?
Hold on. Still don't have a fuck to give.
Okay. I just wondered the other retards were insulted, going like, really? You couldn't do better? No.
Right.
Now you can't take that fuck box with you on stage, can you? I mean, there's I think there's probably.
No, I got a fuck bag, and yeah.
They like to be called women.
Oh, fucking thank you,
women,
Genie.
No, women don't like me.
Thank you.
I'm trying to be.
Now we're gonna get handicapped women sending hate mail in.
I'm waiting for all that hate mail because you were talking about. People were talking about blasphemy. I do have a joke that I have a Jesus joke. I'm not sure if I can tell it.
Sure, you can tell it. What the hell? We're going to hell anyway.
Yeah, I'll tell it anyway. I'm sick of all the hate in the world, honestly, with Russia invading Ukraine, Gaza, Israel. I'm sick of all the hate, right? I'm really getting sick of it. because some people are using the Bible, right? A book that I believe in and love. People are using the Bible as a weapon for hate, for bigotry. I believe in Jesus. I believe that he died for our sins and that he's Black, Jewish, and Italian.
Italian.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he fed the hungry. That's what Italians do, right?
Oh yeah. Oh
He
yeah.
helped the needy. He helped the needy, right? That's what the Jewish faith does, right? And of course, he's black. Everyone knows that. He grew up in poverty and was abandoned by his father.
Gotcha.
I'm sick of all the genuine hate that I've been hearing recently, especially in the world. I think that we need to come together as a human race. Know
Never
that we're all
happened.
pieces of shit ourselves, and realize that Jesus might have been Black, Jewish, Italian, and gay. I wouldn't mind. What's the worst that happens? He turned water to wine coolers. He'd walk on water in 6-inch stilettos. The Last Supper would have been catered. And it
Oh
would
my
turn out
God, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And wait, okay. Oh, because of that movie, I keep doing that when someone uses that. It's like, where? Anyway, and they turned out that the burning bush wasn't an actual bush. It was the name of the first gay club in existence. Where do you think the term glory hole might have came from? Come on.
Ah, very good.
We're
Very
all going
good.
to hell. We're all going
Yeah.
to hell.
Yeah, it'll be a good party, but not quite like the party that Matthew Perry described. Anyway,
Did he describe it like this? Blub 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 blub. If we're all going to hell, I'll be in front with the baton. Just we're all going to hell.
That was an accurate description. I love it. That was
now speaking of
exactly what it sounded like.
Offensive and all the bullshit, they went back and found a episode of Friends where I guess Courtney Cox and Matthew Perry were arguing about drowning guys or something, and she called him a drowning idiot or something like that. And people are offended by that, making a big stink of that. They have to lose that episode now. Like,
are you kidding me? Okay, so this is what happened. So people that hadn't really watched Friends yet, Matthew Perry dies. Now they're watching Friends, and now they're attacking certain episodes of Friends based on content. Is that what you're telling me?
Episode. All they need is a voiceover and just change the word from drowning to browning, and everything is fine. I'm sure the rest of the script is fine. Yes.
Browning, something like that. It does. Yeah, I mean.
It's like one phrase.
Yeah.
So all you gotta do is do a voiceover. Change it from just like you do with other words. Just change
I can see that. I mean, as long as they're not pulling like episodes or something like that. But I still don't.
AI could fix that. But the thing is, people who feel like they're nobody. And there's a lot of people who feel like their lives have no meaning. What they do is they just look for things that can. Oh, maybe if I find something outrageous or something to complain about big enough, and if enough people get on this, they'll remember that I'm the person that started that, and my life will have some fucking meaning.
Back in the day,
oh, you must be old to use that.
Yeah, I'll say. I was gonna say back when Matt was a child and TV was in black and white, when we had 3 channels, if somebody wrote a letter into the networks, they assumed that letter represented 10,000 people.
Right.
Because they know that not everybody's going to write a letter. And so they just assigned that number to that letter.
Right.
And now that's gone on steroids. Someone sends like a tweet, and now they just act like it represents an entire generation.
Well, and there's groups. There's groups of these people that, for whatever, for various different, things to be offended about. And if one person in that like anti, okay, I don't know what word I'm supposed to say now, but that G word that I said a while ago, or wait, I can't say it, or
you can say whatever you want.
The gypsy word. Remember, I associate.
As long as you take responsibility for it, you can say any word you want on here.
Okay. All right.
Take responsibility for it.
Some people, I hate to do that because they're doing that. They canceled Pepe Le Pew years ago from Space Jam 2. And I hate to argue with people over this. People are like, you have to get rid of Pepe Le Pew. It's like, okay, if you watch as much cartoons as I do, I hate to get off the topic of that, but there's two things you can do with this. One, complain if something offends you, or two, turn the TV off.
Right.
Right.
Well, my complaint is that they made a Space Jam 2. I don't even. I don't. Pepe Le Pew was like perfect for me, but they made a fucking Space Jam 2 when they shouldn't have made the Space Jam 1, but they did it. God bless them. I'm sorry.
You know what I saw yesterday? I saw Heckle and Jekyll, a white version of Heckle and Jekyll. Now, Heckle and Jekyll, for people who don't know, it was a cartoon from my age. Two black crows who were basically doing the Amos and Andy bit, which was radio blackface.
Yeah.
But and totally like overdoing it and all that kind of stuff. But I saw at the funeral home somebody had a hat with a whitened version of Heckle and Jekyll, and I was like, that is so confusing. And so now you're telling me it's black crows doing whiteface? What the fuck is that?
Right? Yeah, that makes no fucking sense. And that's my biggest argument for most of these things is make it make sense. If you could make your argument make actual fucking sense, maybe I'd listen to you. But this nonsensical fucking bullshit is fucking, oh my God, dude. I just don't understand why people are trying so hard to make things what they're not. You know what I mean? Like if somebody says some racist shit, call them on it. But if they say something that has no malicious intent, why are you tripping on people?
Jerry, just so you know, anytime you can interrupt Will and just say,
no problem. No, I'm agreeing.
I'm so sorry.
No problem.
You got to the point in the first sentence. The next 35 sentences after that were just saying the same thing again.
Oh no, I agree. I agree with Will. People are pussies nowadays. I'll tell you this one. The reason they made a second Space Jam movie, they wanted us to forget that R. Kelly can fly. And for some reason have us believe that LeBron James can act. I'm
right.
Anyway, actually, here's what I'm getting with Pepe Le Pew, though. If you watch as many cartoons as I do, you know the formula of it, right? The pussycat name's Penelope, right? So you have Pepe Le Pew with the Pepe Le Pew stink lines, everything's melting, people are running away, right? And then you have the gag where there's always a white streak down Penelope's back.
Right.
She smells Pepe Le Pew. Pepe, is trying to romance her, or kissing on her, and she's running away. If you've ever watched a Pepe Le Pew cartoon where you didn't see the stink lines and she couldn't smell him, she was all up in that. Yeah. Look up the first ever Pepe Le Pew cartoon, right? What happens is they both fall. She falls into a bucket of water. He falls into a bucket of paint, right? And he's all blue, right? He's walking away looking all buff, and she's all up into him because, you know why? He's not stinking bad. There was another one where she was unconscious. Pepe Le Pew's nursing her back to health. Like he's putting all this perfume, this nice smelling stuff on himself. She smells it, and she's all over him. So if anyone's wondering why he's canceled, it's because she smelled him first. If I smelled like onions and feet and all this, and women smelled me, they wouldn't be away from me. But if I don't smell that bad, okay, that I would. But women hate me in general.
But that's because they can see also. It's not just smelling. They can also just see.
Yeah. But I could be dressed up in a nice suit, but if I'm stinking of all that stuff, they want to be around me. They'll like the suit. They'll like the clothes.
Now, do you still get the RuPaul in Grease vibe still? Do you still give that off?
I'm RuPaul out of drag. There you go. There you go.
So have you done comedy at like burlesque shows and stuff like that? And when you do, you already started answering. You went, go ahead, finish.
Yep. Swingers clubs, burlesque shows, gay bars. I'm an equal opportunity offender. That's what I pride myself on. I'd rather people think I'm a dick, just a dick, than say a homophobic dick, a racist dick, anything along those lines. I'm just a dick in general to everyone.
So you have the same letdown lines for a man as you who tried to pick you up as you would for a woman trying to pick you up.
Yep, I'm just straight up. Excuse the reference. Yeah, I'm like my whiskey. I'm just straight up.
Now, is this 12-year-old whiskey like the girl at the liquor store?
Yes, exactly.
It is
Okay.
the 12-year-old at the liquor store.
Yes, exactly.
That's awesome.
First of all, I've forgotten about this because it's Jerry's birthday again. Happy birthday, Jerry! It's 40 years
Yes,
old.
happy birthday.
GD, your birthday is coming up too, right? When's your birthday?
The 19th.
The 19th. And you'll be
Internet-
40 as well?
I will also be. I was born. Okay, I'm gonna do a joke. Okay, I was born in.
I love it when you tell us first.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I was born in 1959. You can do the math. If you can't, I'll be 44.
Wow.
All right.
Okay. You know what? That just reminds me. Ron Kane was supposed to be here. He's late or lost in the internet somewhere. So we, you know what? We could do this right now.
Comedians who are funnier than Segura.
That's how now, GD, you can relax here because we are not going to add a new comedian to the list today. We're going to take one off because Ron has not shown up. We're temporarily, anyway, taking him off the list of comedians who are funnier than Segura. When he shows up, we can rescind. Oh, Will, you're muted, which is a good thing.
Oh.
Anyway, so yeah,
I don't know why. I don't know why it takes so long too. Like, and I hit the button, and it still takes like 5 seconds to unmute me for some reason.
The mute is
That's
artificially
Verizon
intelligent.
for you.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
It's artificially intelligent. Yeah. So you know what? All this stuff about politically correctness and what you can say and what you can't say. Fuck it. I was thinking about this yesterday because, and Ian will get upset now that I'm going to bring up Dave Landau. Why? Because I think Dave Landau is funny in his stand-up, but he hasn't gotten bigger than he is, and I think part of that is he has sold out. I think the first thing that happened to him, and this is, I'm sorry to be soliloquying right here, but I think the first thing that happened to him was Anthony Cumia had him on his radio show and then offered him guest hosting, and then people assumed he was this far right wing guy, and then Crowder picked him up, and now he's with Glenn Beck. And even though he's not that far right wing guy, the paycheck was so good that yes, I'm gonna take that position. And then when he sits in with those people, he's taking the paycheck, and there's only one way. If you're really not a MAGA guy, the only thing you can do is try to play along and try to lean into it as best you can to enjoy the experience while you're getting the check for your own sanity. And I think he's done that, and I think that has cost him. So I don't think the thing I'm getting to here is I don't think that's his authentic self. In that on stage when he's doing stand-up, I think he's being pretty authentic. But I think he's kind of sold out a little bit his authenticity, and people recognize it. And I think that holds you back from. So I think you got to really be who exactly you are, and fuck everybody, and have a give a fuck box or a fuck box. And
life's too short to be completely politically correct because I'm Canadian. Right, I'm a black Canadian. Okay, not African Canadian, not African Canadian, not African American. I'm a black Canadian. Right. Now, white people, which is the other two here, the white people, you're supposed to be referred to as Caucasian, right? The only time you're called Caucasian is on a police scanner.
Right.
That's it. Or in a census survey. But we have yet to find a political correct name for wife beater undershirts.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm not calling them wife beaters. I'm still calling them Chris Browns.
Chris Browns, man, I haven't thought about that. Yeah, no, because I say it all the time too, and sometimes I get weird, and it's so strange because that's another word that I get weird about. Like, because I wear those undershirts all the time, and I referred to them as wife beaters my entire life. But now like we've gotten to a point in society. I'll be in my house. There's nobody but me, maybe my wife in earshot. And I'm nervous to say the term wife beater because a bunch of fucking asshats have lost their fucking mind.
Right. Let's return the balance. Let's get the white people in the majority here.
Chris Browns, I love it. I love it. Chris Browns.
route number.
Welcome back. Now we hold on.
What we? What we? What are you talking about? We? No.
Hell no. Like, now listen, you're supposed to have each other's back at all times, no matter what, especially brown white people.
Wow. We have to welcome back to the comedians who are funnier than Tom Segura list, Ron Kane, who is back with us, who was temporarily taken off the list because he was late getting here today. Ron, welcome back.
That was just how to get him here.
Hey. Yeah, thanks for having me back. Yeah, I apologize. I got tied up in some stuff that I was doing. Then GD called me. He's like, "Hey, where are you?" And I'm like, "Oh shit, that's right. I have somewhere to be."
That's my love for you. I have never called any other comedian or person that was
wow. Yeah, show. That is love. That's real love.
I reached out to you, and it cost me a spot. Now I'm one spot lower than Tom Segura again.
Wow.
But I'm willing to be that for you, my man Ron Kane. Now I do have one question, and this I already know the answer because I asked you last time I saw you. But for those who last time they saw you, I offered $40 to any woman who would ruin your marriage while you were in Austin. Did I have to owe any money?
No, nobody. Nope.
No, Ron, have you probably haven't met Jerry Hodges, who is over on your left. Good morning. He's from Canada. I don't know if you're familiar with it's a country, Canada. Have you ever performed in Canada?
No, not yet. Not yet. I will someday, but not yet.
So not if I get there first. No.
So by the way, if you come up here, they'll assign you a temporary hockey team. Please don't be Toronto.
So if I have this correct, and I probably don't, that only Jerry has performed in the two major countries in North America, and nobody else has. You guys are all basically U.S. comedians only. Yes, I think Willie, you're muted again.
Yeah.
You guys, none of you guys have ever performed outside of the U.S.
Yeah, not comedy. The things I performed outside of the U.S., I can't. There are extradition treaties still.
Very cool. Well, do you have any plan? Would you go?
Yes.
Up?
Yeah. You don't have to finish the sentence. Yes, I would go to Canada to perform.
Yeah, musically, it used to be a thing to do. Go to Montreal. A lot of bands went there to make it, or at least establish a living. So it's not a far off thing. Not a strange idea. Anyway, Jackie's sending me a text right now. I don't know why. Oh, he wants to know when he's on. We got to give another date to Jackie. Now, Ron Kane has been working with David Copperfield, obviously, and he has performed a really good illusion. He's almost like see-through at this point. Ron, how do you actually achieve that effect?
Well, usually he does sequin, so I'm surprised that he actually did see-through now.
If you could have just done that without moving your lips, that would have been great, and answered for him as if he's there.
Here we go.
So we'll go back to Jerry now. Jerry, you coming back to the real country, the real North American country anytime soon? Do you have any plans?
I'm thinking about New Year's performing. I'm probably gonna be in New York again, Baltimore, Jersey. I haven't decided yet. But
Baltimore.
If you hit Baltimore, let me know. Even if I'm not performing, I will come pay homage to you and visit with you and be your friend and clap.
You're in Baltimore.
Well, I'm close enough to it that I can smell
Baltimore.
it.
We were talking about sports earlier. I'm not sure if you guys know this, but since I think it was 95, Baltimore is the only city to win both a Super Bowl and a Canadian Super Bowl or the Grey Cup.
That's true.
Yep.
Say what?
Wait,
Yeah.
because the
Canadian-
Ravens were a Canadian football team? Is that what you
At
get?
one point, they want the
No,
Ravens then.
no, actually, the Cleveland Browns moved to Baltimore to become the Ravens, but
Right.
Canadian football tried a U.S. expansion.
Yes.
The problem with that is it was all a shit show. A lot of the places, it was Baltimore, which was the most northern city, but they went south. They went like Sacramento, Louisiana, Texas, Alabama. Yeah, that was a shit show there. But 95 was the year that Baltimore became the only U.S. city to win the Grey Cup.
Well,
And,
unfortunately, Baltimore is known for the only team, only city to ever lose a Super Bowl to the New York Jets. So, there you go.
Also Baltimore won the chlamydia. Baltimore also won the chlamydia championships 2 years in a row. Thank you.
Really?
Yeah, 2 years
You
in a row.
didn't. You weren't there.
No.
Oh,
I
figured.
left. Yeah.
And they're always fighting for that top murder spot too.
Yes, we're in contention every year. We're in contention.
That's true. Did they win? And what do you win for that?
I think it's usually Chicago.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, they have Michael Jordan, so that.
And I think that's done per capita, right? You got to go like take some smaller.
I think so,
towns
yeah. It's not straight up dead right numbers. No, these are it's per capita.
Right. Ron, how long have you known GD?
About 6 years now.
You know his birthday?
I do not. No.
See that? 6 years. You never asked when his birthday is.
I struggle to remember my own kids' birthdays and my mom's birthdays. So,
but you remember how they were conceived, and that's
that's about it.
Right. Well, his birthday's in 2 weeks, by the way, so you can go shopping now. You can go to minddogtv.com/shop and pick out some nice stuff for GD. Good stuff for him to break because he's running out of stuff to break every time. Every time he finds out that he's not on the list of comedians who are funnier than Tom Segura. Anyway, it's Jerry's birthday. If you want to say happy birthday, Jerry, I mean,
yeah.
Hey, happy birthday!
He doesn't like real cake
today. Yay.
Now, when is your birthday, Ron? I just for
he just had it.
Yeah, it was October 16th.
Oh, well, happy birthday. Oh, that's right. You were on the week of your birthday, and we actually sang happy birthday to you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
See, I should have remembered that. Bad on me. So we got everybody covered on birthdays here. This is the birthday morning NHL.
Hey, we'll call it even, Matt, because I was late today. So
all right.
So is this the quickest turnaround for a return spot? Did you?
We have to do a deep dig on that. I believe it's pretty close, if not the what.
We got to say goodbye to Gubs.
Oh, thank you for reminding me. You know what? I think Tony's still away shooting.